Welcome to TARRIFIC Talk, where at this table we discuss all things related to trade, tariffs, and the U.S. customs clearance landscape. I'm Jonathan. I am the host. I am the media manager as well and business developer for All Borders Inc., a customs clearance company. And if you were terrified about this type of talk before, well, don't be, because you'll be terrific in trade starting tomorrow. Welcome. And with me today is Monika Kar. She is the licensed customs broker and founder of All Borders Inc., where she keeps cargo flowing. And she's here to cargo clear some of our questions with respect to U.S. imports. Welcome, Monika.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and I can't believe this is our first talk series.
It is the first in our series, and I'm so excited that we were able to pull this together through all the trials and errors and everything, right?
Yeah, we had rain, technical difficulties, we fought, we cried, we laughed, you know. It's been a lot of things, but we're here.
We're here. So I do have to start off with a confession. I've known Monika for many years, and I've known that she has been a customs broker, but I never really knew or was really certain what a customs broker is or does. And with this whole talk of, the trade wars, the tariffs being in the news, and this subject being a really hot topic for the past year, I don't think many people, be it those that are watching or maybe even just myself, know the definition of what a customs broker is. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about what is it that you do, what is it that a customs broker does, and take it from there.
Well, don't feel bad. There's so many people that have no idea that even customs broker exists. So
Right.
Not a big deal. But let me just start off by saying that customs brokers hold many hats. Mm-hmm. But the main thing that we do is collect money on behalf of CBP from the importers.
Okay.
That's the main purpose. And the reason being is that the federal government receives its revenue from two sources of income.
Okay.
The first one is through the IRS, which is the personal business taxes and business taxes, and we pretty much do that on a yearly basis, so we're all familiar with it.
We should be familiar, yeah.
Exactly. And then the second source is through CBP, and that's by collecting duties. So just to put it in really simple terms, it's easier for CBP to regulate a small group of licensed customs brokers than it is to try to regulate every single importer in order to collect their duties.
So would it be fair to say that you are the middle person, like the person that's like in the middle of all this import chaos, if you will? Is that kind of fair to say?
Yeah, honestly, every shipment there's a story. So it's safe to say that there's always some type of chaos or drama happening.
That's a great catchphrase. Every shipment, a new story.
Well, I am like the peacekeeper between CBP, the importer, and the freight forwarder. So I make sure that the importer is compliant, that I have all the necessary information, the documentation is correct in order for me to be able to release the cargo. And typically, if there's any little incident that is holding up the release, I'm getting phone calls, like what's the delay? But what importers and freight forwarders sometimes don't understand is that there's a lot of details that go into this, and sometimes it takes time. And I just try to...
So don't blame, not to blame you if the shipment's being held hostage, right?
I still get blamed.
You still get blamed?
Yeah, because even sometimes there's like a random inspection, and sometimes they think that it's my fault, and it's random. Like,
it's
deal
in the
with
word.
the randomness.
It's in the word random, yeah. So I think it's important for people to hear from somebody inside the industry, like you, to give us a little bit about the background as to how somebody even becomes a customs broker. So if like people in the industry sometimes don't even have an understanding of what a customs broker is, how does one discover it? How do you stumble upon it? What is sort of like the initiation rites, if you will, to becoming a customs broker? How does one even become aware that this job exists?
Well, I can't speak for other customs brokers, but my story started off when I had my first job as a compliance officer at a freight forwarder. And it was my first job in the industry. I was, straight up out of grad school. And every couple of days, this gentleman would pass by and drop off a stack of papers. And after a while, I asked one of my colleagues, I'm like, who is he? What does he do? Why is he always here? Why is he always just dropping off papers? And he was like, oh, he's a customs broker and he makes a lot of money. So I was like, interesting.
Okay, that's all you needed to hear, huh?
Yeah, it was like, like in the cartoons when the light bulb goes off. Yeah. And so I started Googling, what were the requirements? It seemed easy enough.
I'm sure ignorance is bliss, eh?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I asked the owner of the company, I was like, hey, Eduardo, I'm thinking of becoming a customs broker and this is the course. And he was generous enough to sponsor my studies.
Okay. Shout out to Eduardo.
Yes,
Thank you.
He helped me in this journey. I don't know to blame him or thank him or what at this point.
Right.
But yeah, so that was like the first step. And unfortunately, I did not pass the test.
Get out.
It was
How many
such a
attempts do you need
disappointment.
for something like that?
Well, in my case, there's people that take it multiple times. But in my case, the reason why I didn't pass the first time is because only 4 people passed in the entire country. So it was just my luck that I took the test when the passing rate was so low.
Wow.
It was like the lowest in decades. So I definitely took it at the wrong time. And I decided to take the test again. It was such a disappointment that I didn't pass the first time around.
Sort of like a blow to your ego.
Yeah, so it definitely gave me the motivation to take it again. And the second time around, I decided to study with a retired customs officer.
Okay.
And he had like the most amazing technique to study for the exam. And I think it just really clicked and resonated with me. And I was able to pass the test with flying colors.
Nice.
So I only took the test 2 times. And and so from there, I just...
You're officially inducted, if you will, into the exclusive club that is of customs brokers in the United States. Right?
Exactly.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Becoming a U.S. customs broker is kind of like being part of a compliance country club, if you will, right? Is that kind of like fair to say?
I guess that's a really nice way of putting it, yeah.
But at the same time, there's still technically thousands of you, right? You still have to distinguish yourself from the rest of the pack. So what would be something that you say makes you stand out from the rest of other customs brokers? What's the unique value proposition that you bring to the table as a customs broker?
I think the majority of customs brokers started off as entry writers, and they stay in that side of the industry and stay in that lane. And my path was a little bit different. I started working as a compliance manager at a freight forwarder. And that gave me a really strong foundation on regulations and documentation. And from there, I went to manage an import-export company. And so I got more of an insight on procurement and the day-to-day challenges of, running a business in international trade. And then from there, I became an operations manager at a freight forwarding company. And it was constantly putting out fires, dealing with situations, and made me really realize that logistics is all about solving problems. So I think all those things kind of just made me understand supply chain from A to Z.
You basically have like a bird's eye view of everything related to logistics and shipping, and you're not just staying in that one little corner of your universe, so to speak.
Right. So I think my experience has given me a much bigger picture of customs and trade compliance, and I can definitely empathize for every single party involved in supply chain.
All right, let's clear the air a little bit about some of the biggest misconceptions importers, people in general have about customs brokers. What is something you constantly have to either explain or correct? Because I'm sure there's plenty of assumptions that go around.
Yeah, a common misconception is that importers think that customs brokers hold all the responsibility when it comes to clearing cargo, as if once they hire us, it's going to automatically clear their... Yeah, exactly. And so the reality is it's far from the truth. The importer knows their product way more than we ever will. So customs brokers can guide them, let them know of the regulations, what's needed for it to be imported. But at the end of the day, it is the importer that has to do their due diligence.
I mean, yeah, they know their product. They should know. They should have done some of the homework, coming to the table prepared, so to speak.
Yes, especially when it comes to the FDA and USDA. It's, the application process has to be done before it's exported. It can't be done as soon as it arrives. And sometimes importers will not have the necessary information, and they think that the customs broker will take care of it. And at that point, it's just too late. Yeah.
So something that blows my mind about customs brokers is that they're the ones that are actually paying on behalf of their importers when they clear cargo. So they pay the duties and the taxes on their behalf and then bill the importer after. So can you break that down for us? Because I feel like a lot of people tend to think that customs brokers just file some forms then vanish, but you're handling money as well.
Honestly, this is something that still surprises me till this day. Most people don't realize that customs duties are due within 10 days of the release of goods from customs. And so while the importer of record ultimately holds the responsibility to pay duties, it is the customs brokers that facilitate the payment on their behalf. So it's important for people to know that we just aren't these invisible paper pushers. We're the financial first responders of global trade in the U.S. And since we're in this volatile trade war, this is the reason why importers might see an increase in the demand for prepayment or disbursement fees for duties paid, because uncertain times call for more assurance of payment.
And given that we're in a sort of turbulent tariff time, what is a recommendation that you would give to importers moving forward?
Well, with these recent tariff hikes, we are definitely entering a new normal, and businesses have to adjust regardless if you're big or small, and it just comes with this huge financial weight. So a good business practice would be for importers to ask for a statement payment report, and it is like a receipt. It's a proof of payment that the duties and taxes have been paid on their behalf. And this just provides more visibility. It ensures smart business management. All businesses reconcile their bank statements, and the same should be done for import shipments.
Well, thank you for your insights, Monika. Thank you for joining me on this crazy suggestion that I had of doing a video series. This was the first episode and hopefully very many. And if people, our viewers, would like to have a more in-depth conversation or potentially a consultation with you, what would be the next steps?
I want to thank you for making me do this because it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You're welcome.
And I can be reached via email at info@allbordersinc.com or via the website. There is a tab where you can book a consultation, and I will be more than happy to answer questions regarding customs clearance.
All right. Well, you heard it. If you are seeing this on LinkedIn, which you most likely are, be sure to give us a follow and a like and a comment on our LinkedIn page. The engagement really helps. And if there's any content that you would like to see, maybe in a future episode, be sure to leave a suggestion right there in the comments. So give us a like. Once again, be sure to reach out to Monika because customs calls for clear communication. This was Terrific Talk. If you were terrified of the subject earlier today, don't be, because you'll be terrific and tougher in trade starting tomorrow. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.